Eyes up. Not sure what you're doing. Get rid of that. All right, thank you so much. Even though I think it's great that you're reading, honestly. I wish I would have read a lot more when I was young. All right? But, girls, stop. There's no reason to be writing. All you have to do is pay attention. All you have to do is listen. Because, again, most people that I say, why do you have to have common denominators when you're adding and subtracting fractions, really and truthfully, most people do not know. All right? Now, what made sense to me, all right, when I was first learning fractions were pizzas. All right, everything to me revolved around pizza. All right, so now I will make a demonstration. Hopefully you go, well, that makes perfectly good sense now. All right, I am going to draw two pizzas. All right, and again, all you have to do is watch. Now, what did I try to do? I tried to do them exactly the same. I tried to make them exactly the same. They look almost exactly the same. Except I'm going to do this. Stop writing, stop doing everything except eyes up on the board. What did I do to my pizza?
Cut it in half.
I cut it in half. Okay, now watch. So now, the green obviously represents what? Half the pizza. All right? So I sit down at the dinner table, and what usually happened was I ate half a pizza. All right? So this represents a half. And again, like I said, honestly, it's so nice if you just focus in up what I'm trying to say. All right. Now, at our house, we liked the meat lover and we liked the vegetarians. We didn't like the meat and the vegetarians in the same pizza. So we got two pizzas, one vegetarian and one meat. All right. And since I was the biggest, I always got to take what I wanted first. And what did I do on this pizza? I cut it into thirds, which I know you guys already know. All right? But I'm going to now show you that I took this third, right, of the vegetarian. All right? So this represents 1/3. So, how much pizza did I get? All right. I ended up eating 1/3 plus what? 1/2. So, how much did I get to eat? The reason why it's not 2/5 is because I can't add these together. Why can't I add them together? Because they're not the same size. If I said 1/4 plus 1/4, that would be 2/4, because you're adding equals. Right now, the sizes are not the same, so I can't add them together. This represents a half a pizza over here. This represents a third. You cannot put them together. You can't put them together because it's not the same size. All right? Now, if you thought to add 1/2 and 1/3 and get 2/5, if you made that mistake, I'm telling you right off the bat, I ate a half a pizza. Is 2/5 more or less than half? It's less, so I can't just add them together. Does everybody see what I'm getting at? Now, did I eat more than one whole?
No.
No, because this over here, this section over here represents a half a pizza that I didn't eat, And this over here, is that more or less than a half? Less than a half. So it can't be that I ate one whole pizza. All right? So now the question came into play was, well, how do I add them if they're not equal? So now let me try to explain how I did that. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my slices and I'm going to make them equal. All right? Now, watch how I make them equal. Or I'm going to demonstrate, or I'm going to try to make them equal. Not exactly, but close enough. So now, what does that represent now? What does the green represent? 3, 6. Come on now. Look at that right now. It still represents 1/2, but in a different form. Exactly correct. 1/2 is the same as what? 3, 6. Is everybody with me? Now, on the other side, what I'm going to try to do now is I'm going to try to split this up. And if you look carefully, I'm trying to demonstrate that that now is divided into what? How many pieces?
2
Out of
6.
6. So this over here represents 3 out of 6, and this represents 2 out of 6. And if I was better at drawing, you should be able to visualize and say, wow, all of those slices are now exactly what? Exactly the same size. They are all exactly the same size. So if I have 3/6 of one and 2/6 of the other, altogether I have what? That's how you add. So I ended up with 5/6. I ate 5/6 of the entire pizza. If you add 1/3 and you add 1/2. So again, I'm stressing to you that in order to add fractions, you have to add equal sizes. And in order to add equal sizes, the denominator has to be the same. The denominator has to be the same. Now, finding a common denominator, I'm sure you know how to do, because honestly, you've been doing that literally since 4th grade. You've been common multiples. In 5th grade, you did it. In 6th grade, you did it. So today is just a review. The only problem with today is that there are positives and there are negatives. All right? There are positives and negatives, so we need to discuss that. So listen to me now. Clearly, I need your attention. All right? Now we're going to get into today's lesson. All right? And today's lesson is, everybody, page 128. We're doing questions 1 through 33, but we're not doing the word problems. All right? So today we're just going to look at how to add and subtract fractions that do not have common denominators. All right? Is everybody with me on this?
Yes.
All right? So now, if you need to, you can take a screenshot of your work, of your pages. But I'm going to give you about 1 minute to get that done. All right? Don't forget to title it. This is page 128, 1 through 33. I did the odds in last class, so today I'm probably going to do the evens with you guys, and then you can go through and you can see all the solutions. All right? Please get that done real quick. All righty. Everybody set to go? Here we go. Now again, I'm going to do the first like 3. I'm going to show you all the work. And then after that, I think you know how to do it. We're going to skip a few little steps. All right? Because I don't think it's necessary because this is the 3rd year you really have been doing fractions. All right? And you should be a master of fractions. All right? So let's see how good you are. All right? First, let's talk about number 2. All right? Number 2, I'm just going to write it down here. So -5/9 plus 1/6. All right, now the question is, am I going to add these or am I going to subtract? You're going to subtract because one is positive and one is negative. All right, so now we have the difficult task, the common denominator. What is the common denominator?
18.
You're awesome. 18. Thank you very much. 18 is the common denominator. Now, like I said, I'm going to show all the work, and I want you to do all the work for the first couple questions, and you can kind of skip a few steps because I know some of you can do this. All right, Alex, you with me today? All right, thank you. Now, what do I multiply the top fraction by? 2, right? So I'm going to multiply by 2 over 2. So the new numerator becomes what? Good, and you don't mind -10, right?
Yeah.
And what I'm multiplying the denominator by? The second fraction by what? 3. So you put times 3 over 3, and then that's what? 3/18.
So you just multiply it by what it takes
Needs to get to the common denominator. 100% correct. All right? And now you can go ahead and do the subtraction. So what's -10 plus 3?
-7.
So the answer is
-7 over 18.
-7 over 18. All right, that's the answer. -7 over 18. Everybody happy with that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not hard. All right, so now let's move over a little bit, and we're going to try number 4. All right, so let me look at number 4. 8 5/12 plus 11 1/4. Now this one's a little bit easier because the common denominator we should just obviously say is what? 12. And they're both positive, so we know we're going to do what? Add them together. All right, so let's do a common denominator here. I have 12s, right? Which just means I'm multiplying the top one by what?
1.
By 1. You're okay. And I'm multiplying the bottom by what? 3. So this would be times 3 over 3, which makes it 3 over 12. And now when I add them, 8 plus 11 is what? 19 and what? 19 and 8/12, which is the same as 19 and, beautiful, 19 and 2/3. Now, I was trying to tell my kids in last class, look, you have to speak up now if you don't know what I'm talking about. All right? I don't want to wait 4 or 5 more problems before you finally admit you're not sure, or you don't remember, or you're confused. I don't really care. All right, does anybody have any questions with number 4? Anybody have any questions with number 4? All right, now, what? Come on.
I just have one. I just so for the top 8 and 5/12, you didn't do anything to that. You didn't.
Because it already had a 12 in the denominator.
Oh, so you lifted.
So I just showed you all the work, that's all. All right, now I'm going to leave a step out because I truthfully feel like you guys all know what that is. I think you know how to do that. Or at least you just said you did. All right, so now I tell kids we're going to take a little shortcut here. I'm going to write down question number 6. For number 6, I have, it looks like 4 3/8 plus 10 5/12. All right, now please stay with me on this one. All right. First of all, somebody tell me the common denominator.
24.
Oh, thank you. Froze up on me again. All right, hold up 1 second. It'll just take me a second. I'll figure out how to unfreeze it real quick. Very much. Thank you. Okay, sorry about the screen freezing up. So we ought to be able to tell me now, since you had a little extra minute to think about it, what is the common denominator, Hunter? 24, yes. Could we say 48?
Yes.
Yes, it just makes it what? It just makes it harder. All right, so we want to try to find the least common denominator, not a common denominator. So we're saying the common denominator is 24. So now, here's what I'm trying to hope you can do. Just put a 24 and a 24. You don't have to give space to what you're going to multiply by, because you ought to be able to tell me, what did I multiply 8 by to get 24?
3.
So then 3 times 3 is?
9.
There you go. Right? I want you to skip that step. And then what did I multiply 12 by to get 24?
2.
So when I multiply that, I get,
10.
come on guys, it shouldn't take you that long. It shouldn't take you that long. You've got some experience. But like I said, fractions are a weakness for a lot of kids. Your job right now is to say, hey man, I'm good. All right, it's not hard. All right, so now when we add, I end up with what? Final answer. Close.
14 and 19.
14 and 19 over 24. All right, not bad at all. All right, not bad at all. All right, so now that we have 6, let's go ahead and knock out 8. So here we go on 8. 3/5 minus 9/10. Super important one. 3/5 minus 9/10. Now watch me please, guys. This is what I want for you. What's the common denominator? 10. I only have to change one of them. Right? So I'm going to change 3/5 to what?
That would be
6/10. Thank you. Because we're going to multiply the top and bottom by 2. But again, that's not necessary. You know that. 3/5 is the same as 6/10. Now you can subtract. What's 6/10 minus 9/10? Or what's 6 minus 9?
-3/10.
Wow, guys, that's easy. -3/10.
Oh, so you can change it to higher if you need to, like to bigger, like you did there. 3/5 to 6/10.
Yes, of course. That's what we're doing, getting a common denominator. Good for you.
Kinda lost.
Well, you got to tell me where I can find you. All right. So far, do you know how I got 6/10?
Well, you multiplied it by 2.
Yes, because I wanted a common denominator. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Now my question to you is, you might be having trouble with this. Do you know what 6 minus 9 is? That might be the problem.
6 minus 9.
What is that?
It's a -3.
Well, you're asking me or are you telling me?
Telling you.
You're 100% right then. That's right. Because everything I write on the board is what?
Right.
Correct.
There you go. You're learning. All
You're
right,
a
you
miss.
definitely
You're
learning.
right.
All right. But now, listen carefully, please. Again, I'm glad she's asking me a question. It goes for everybody else now. If you're having trouble, if you don't know why 6 minus 9 is -3, I can work that out for you as well. Does everybody understand that 6 minus 9 is -3?
Yeah.
All right, that's what makes the fractions harder this year, is the fact that you might get a negative answer, whereas last year you always got a positive answer. All right, any questions? All right, let's let the fun continue. Let's check out number 10. That's what I said, fun. Here we go. All right, so here we go. We're going to go -1 1/3 minus 4 2/7. So, am I going to add these or subtract them?
You're adding,
You're
but it'll be a negative.
Yeah, so listen, evaluate where you're at first. Both of them are what? Negative. So when you take a negative and a negative, you're going to get a negative by adding them, right? So when you're doing this, in my opinion, I would go ahead and make a note down here and say, put a negative down so I don't forget that. All right? But we are clearly going to do what to these fractions?
You're gonna add them.
Yes, I'm going to add them. So
Okay.
tell me, what's the common denominator?
21.
All right, now, again, when you know the common denominator is 21, just change the fractions. 1/3 is the same as
7/21.
7 over 21. So you just make this 7 over 21. And 2/7 is
6/21.
6 over 21. Now you're supposed to be saying to yourself, do I add them or do I subtract them?
You add them.
You're going to add them.
So it'd be 5 and 13/21.
That's correct.
Or negative 5.
Negative 5, and 13 21st. That's what we're doing. Now, anybody else having an issue with that? Everybody understands why I added that fraction? Don't be afraid. Come on. If you got a question, speak up.
Surprisingly easy.
Good. I'm glad. That means I'm making some sense up here. Finally, right?
You're being a good teacher.
Finally. All right. There's a first for everything. All right. Here we go. So again, that was number 10, correct?
Yeah.
Hold up a minute, guys. Let's knock out 12. All right. So 12 and 1/2 minus 6 and 3/8. Wow. Listen to me, honestly. This is you. Everybody here should just be able to do this as mental math. How many people can just look at that and say the answer is without doing any work? No work. Don't do any work. When you go to high school, they'll think you're crazy because you can look at that and say the answer is, Catherine, what? Shh.
It is 18 and.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. How are we getting 18?
Oh, 6 and.
6 and? Shh. Hold up. Think for one more minute. 6 and?
6 and.
1/2 is how many eighths?
1/2 is 4.
So 4/8 minus 3/8.
20.
Look at that.
Yeah, Catherine.
Look at that. Does everybody see on that now? Again, I'm just telling you, man, I just think it's important for you to be able to say, I know 1/2 is 4/8. How boring is that to write out all the work and multiply by 4? And, you know, I want you to be able, you should be able to look at that and say, wow, 12 and 1/2 minus 6 and 3/8 is obviously 6 and 1/4 or 6 and 1/8. Everybody good on that?
Yes.
Right? Now, if not, of course, we just change 1/2 to 4/8, and then you go, wow, that was kind of easy now. Right? Because 12 minus 6 is what? 6. 4/8 minus 3/8 is what? 1/8. Anybody still have any questions or concerns? All right, I told you. Simple. All right, now we're moving on to question 14. I'm going to put 14 right up on the top here, though, instead of going on the bottom, because there's some problems interfering. All right, so 14. All right, I'm going to write it down, which I'm requiring you to do, so I'm doing it. So it'd be negative 8/35 plus, bless you, plus 2/5. All right? Now, again, I would like for you to establish whether you're going to add or subtract these. What are we doing? Adding or subtract? So far, I got to subtract and an add.
Subtract.
Why?
Because there's a
And a?
and a positive.
That's right. Whenever the signs are different, you're always going to subtract. All right? When the signs are different, you're always going to subtract. Now we got to get a common denominator, which is obviously what? The common denominator is?
5 or 7?
Well, you're telling me, look, I need to make common denominators, right? So what I'm trying to get at is I need to change the second fraction. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So what do I need to change the second fraction to? Quiet, please. Let her try to answer. Let her answer. Right? What do I need to change it to?
10 over 35.
Wow. How did you get that?
Because 5 times 2 is 10.
But okay, keep going.
I don't actually know.
Well, but again, 5 times, what's the common denominator?
The common denominator is 7?
Well, yes, you're going to multiply 5 times 7 to get what?
35.
That's the common denominator, kiddo. You were telling me what number do I multiply to get a common denominator. All right? So 5 times 7 is 35, so then the numerator would be what?
10.
Why 10?
Oh, wait. 14?
Yes, 14. Think now. Stop. Just think before you speak. All right? So now I have negative 8 over 35. The reason why the negative 8 didn't change is because we already had that as the common denominator. All right? Now, did we say we're adding or subtracting? Subtracting. So what's 14 minus 8? Or negative 8 plus 14, I should say, because you guys are smart enough to do that. What's negative 8 plus 14? Say it. 6. Don't be shy. Speak up. If you know something. 6 out of how much? 35. Now, is the answer positive or negative, though? Positive. The reason it's positive this time is because the 14 is bigger than the what? The 8. All right? All right, not bad. That's 14. Now let's take a look at 16. Now, we're not going to write the double negatives. All right? I mean, we're not going to write the positive and the negative. We're just going to go ahead and make it what? We're going to make it negative 5/8 minus 8/9. Is everybody happy with that explanation?
Yes.
Well, again, look right here. This plus minus is garbage. You're not allowed to have both of them. It's either a positive or a negative. It's never both.
Negative.
All right, so plus minus makes a
Negative.
negative or a minus. So negative 5/8 and negative 8/9. Now the question is, do we add or do we subtract? Yes, sir. What do we do?
Me?
Lander.
We add.
You're going to add them. Thank you so much. Both negatives, that means you're going to add. Now, can you tell me the common denominator?
The only one I can really think of right now.
And let me explain to you why you're right. All right, you're going to be right because this. Now listen to me. This will help you out tremendously. Are there any common factors with 8 and 9? What's common with 8 and 9? No. Now listen, I'm asking you this. The factors are what multiplies to get 8 and what multiplies to get 9. So are there any common factors with 8? The factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, 8. Factors of 9 are 1, 3, 9. Are there anything in common? If they don't have anything in common, the easiest way to find the common denominator is just do what? Just multiply them together. That's if it's referred to as relatively prime. Relatively prime means there's no common factors. All right? Now, so the common denominator again now would be? Yes, sir, you were correct. I told you. 72. All right? So now let's rewrite the 72. Go ahead and tell me the top fraction will be what?
40. No.
Yes, negative what?
Negative 49.
9 times 5.
45.
There you go. And the denominator would be, the second fraction would be, don't be sorry, man. Just,
64.
yes, negative 64. Okay, so now they're both negative. So, Lander, go ahead. We're just going to add them up. Tell me what you get. 109. Negative 109 out of 72. Now, generally, because they're mixed fractions to start out with, we're going to go ahead. I know at some point I said we're just going to do improper fractions, but generally with adding and subtracting, they want you to put it as a mixed fraction. So the question now is, how many times does 72 go into 109? So negative 1. Now, you should look at that and say 10 minus 7 is what?
3.
And 9 minus 7, or 9 minus 2 is?
7.
So there you go. 37 over 72. All right, again, practicing your mental math. 10 minus 7, 9 minus 2. That wasn't bad. And remember, we made sure that we remember to make it negative also.
Wasn't that number 16?
That, in fact, was 16. All right, so here we go with 18. 7/8 minus 2/5. Yes, you may. Hold on, let me write it. 7/8 minus 2/5. Number 18. All right, help me out. Common denominator.
40.
40. So the first fraction is going to be beautiful. 35 over 40. Yes. Am I adding them or subtracting? Subtracting.
So 35 minus 16 is 19.
Very nice work, girl. Nice, nice, nice. 19 over 40. You should all be that quick. All right? It's not that hard. All right, let me find 20 now. Negative 2/5 minus 1/3. All right? 20. Negative 2/5 minus 1/3. All right, hold on one second. Are we adding or subtracting? Miles, what are we doing?
We are adding.
Adding. So what's the common denominator?
The common denominator is 15.
So the first fraction is?
The first fraction is 6 over 15.
Beautiful.
And the
Second
one
fraction?
is 5 over 15.
Good work, buddy. Final answer.
Let's see. So, 1 over 15.
Now, listen to what I said at the beginning. Are we adding or subtracting?
We're adding, right? So, right, yeah. Okay.
You're good.
That would be 11 over 15.
Perfect. Negative 11 over 15. All right, so I said always take your time. All right, take your time. It's not going to be in a big hurry here. The problems are relatively easy. I feel like you should be a master of the fractions. All right, if you're doing well and you understand what I'm saying, we're in good shape. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to take a look at 22, negative 3/4 minus 5/6. All right, birthday girl, right?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Happy birthday. You can do this problem.
Okay.
Common denominator.
So the common denominator is 12,
So then,
and you would be adding in this problem.
yep,
So it would be 9 over 12,
perfect.
and then 10 over 12.
Beautiful.
And so that would be negative 19 over 12, which would be 1 and 7.
Don't forget the
Oh, negative 1.
beautiful. Don't forget the negatives. Guys, I feel like that's just pretty easy. All right, I feel like that's pretty easy. After all your experience you've had with addition and subtraction of fractions, that shouldn't be that hard. The only thing you have to remember is look at it. Are you adding them or subtracting? Just because it says plus doesn't mean you're adding. Just because it says minus doesn't mean you're subtracting. All right, very good. All right, so let's carry on. So that was 22, right? All right, so now we're jumping to 26. All right. So for question 26. Alrighty. Adding or subtracting here, guys?
Subtract.
I agree. So,
Oh my God,
2/3.
Yeah.
How did that even happen?
That
I know.
scared me.
Ow, I hit my nose.
Oh,
Trying to
Oh, Jack. Makes your eyes water. Yeah, it's on video. So what happened, YouTube, was Jack fell over.
It is
he
no
tripped on
chair.
it. Yeah.
And
He
he
did a
knows
nose
the
dro-
chair.
He did a nosedive after tripping on a chair.
You saw it right here. What if Jack
Alright,
needs
on
many
33
injuries?
On 33 minutes.
All right.
Oh, you heard
Now, we've had our entertainment for the day. All right. So, back on track. Here we go. So, we said the common denominator was what? 12. So 2/3 we're changing to what? Hey, come on, guys, help me out.
8/12.
2/3 changes to 8/12. Now, we're still adding or subtracting? Subtracting. Agreed? So when we subtract, negative 10 and 8/12 plus 9 and 7/12 is going to be? What is it? Negative 1 and? Brilliant. Negative 1 and 1/12. Does everybody agree with that? We're not having trouble with 8 minus 7, are we?
No.
10 minus 9?
No.
So is everybody happy with 1 and 1/12?
Yes.
Negative. All right, here we go. Jack, you all right with that now?
Yeah.
I don't want to check for a brain concussion or anything back there. You good? All right, man. Here we go. 28. All right, adding or subtracting?
Subtract.
Now, the only thing I want to tell you, I want to try to help you out a little bit here. What number should I put at the top? 6 6/7 or 11 7/8? Yeah, you should put the larger fraction on top. All right? Put the larger fraction on top.
Because if you didn't, then it would be negative.
Yes. Think about it. So this would be negative 11 7/8 plus 6 6/7. Make sure you're with me on that.
Wait,
Does everybody understand why I put the 11 as a negative?
Yeah.
Because in the problem it's negative.
negative.
Right. Now, am I adding or subtracting? And the answer is going to be,
Negative.
it's going to be a negative.
Oh, yeah.
How do I know it's negative? Because there are more negatives
Then there are positives.
than there are positives. All right? So here we go. Common denominator is what?
56.
Brilliant. 56. So the top numerator is going to be
40.
40.
Wait.
Huh.
What are we doing?
49.
49.
Plus
Hey,
something.
I'm right in front of you.
And then the next one, 6 and 7 should be 6 and 48 over 40 or 56.
Yes, 48 over 56. And now once we do the subtraction, we are left with
1
One.
for 5 and 1 over
5 and 1
56.
Negative.
Negative 5.
over 56. And again, that's why I like to put the negative down there. All right? So I don't accidentally forget that. Is everybody good? All right? All right, let's see where I'm at now. 30. What should I put on the top?
I'm sorry?
You everybody see what I'm saying? Should I put the negative 5, 6 down first or the 8 and 1/4?
8 and 1/4.
Yeah, I think that's easier too. So 8 and 1/4 minus, Yes. all right. So is the answer going to be positive or negative?
Negative because it's a negative.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Is the answer going to be,
because there's more positives.
Yeah, there's
yeah,
more.
8 is way bigger than 0.
Oh, wait, what number are we
30.
on? Oh,
So now we need a common denominator, which is
12.
12. You could say 24, but 12 is better.
You just have to reduce it.
yeah.
So then 1/4 is the same as how many twelfths?
3.
Over 12, 10 over 12. Is that right?
Negative 7.
Uh-oh. Quick little review here. We can't, so we have to borrow. So that 8 becomes a 7.
And then it's a 1 and 5.
No, then this becomes a 15. Do you remember that? You add the numerator and denominator,
Oh.
and now you subtract 5/12,
3.
7 and 5/12. We'll review that. All right, we'll definitely review
Okay.
that. Thank you, guys. Good job. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.
Is it?
Hopefully I'll see